Hello and welcome to this thought for the day. In 1966, Simon and Garfunkel recorded an evocative version of the traditional carol Silent Night. As I first listened to the recording, I slowly became aware of a third voice in the mix. The speaker enters very faintly, and at the beginning, I couldn't make out what was being said. As the volume increased, I heard a newsreader with the stories of the day. Over the dulcet tones of Simon and Garfunkel, I got all the bad news. In the midst of the silent night came the news that there were battles in the US House of Representatives about the Civil Rights Bill. As I heard of the Holy Infant, tender and mild, I also heard of the death of a well-known comedian from a drug overdose. While Simon and Garfunkel sang Sleep in Heavenly Peace, I was confronted with the news that the Governor of Illinois was preparing to call in the National Guard if Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. went ahead with a march in favour of equal housing rights. At the same time, I heard that all was calm and all was bright. I also heard that a mass murderer had been indicted for trial by the grand jury. While Simon and Garfunkel returned to the theme of the infant Jesus sleeping in heavenly peace, there was news of anti-Vietnam War protests, and I heard of the then former Vice President Richard Nixon's statement that objections to the Vietnam War being voiced in the United States were the greatest weapons being employed against them. The peace and hopefulness of the silent night is interrupted by the stark brutality of the news report, and no doubt meant to make the point that the world inevitably overwhelms the gospel. But I wonder if things are not really the other way around. The subjects of those news reports have been consigned to history. Certainly, other tragic events will come along to take their place and potentially fill us with terror. But every year we still hear of the birth of that holy infant, and we still hope for a heavenly